Hello, everybody out there. Welcome again to the XOKpop podcast, now called XOKpop Heart to Heart. Here we are, the fourth episode. It is with two people who you haven't heard before. It is with Whitney and Emily. Now, if you know anything about Whitney, she teaches K-pop as well with us and is in XOKpop. And Emily as well started in K-pop also. During this episode, they talk about how they started in K-pop Flash Mob, as well as forming HSCU later. Not only that, we do talk a lot about the shows. Now, if you don't know, Emily and Whitney, they both work backstage at the shows. Whitney's in the light box, and Emily is one of the stage managers. So we talk about some of the shows and experiences that we've had, not just the K-pop shows, actually the crossover shows as well, because this is our launching point into where we're going to start making the crossover and interview some of the other instructors and talk about some of the topics that street dance side might be more interested in as well. So take a listen, have fun, and enjoy. Listen to how Emily and Whitney started K-pop and their thoughts on shows and dancing. Whitney and Emily, heart to heart. All right, hello everybody. This is the first episode of the crossover podcast then, right?
No.
No? What do you mean no?
It is. The other one's the K-pop one.
Oh, I don't want this one
You don't want this to be the inaugural episode of the crossover one.
Oh no, it should be the K-pop one because I'm interviewing Whitney.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No, today we're going to talk about shows. So here with my guest today, it is Whitney and Emily. Yay!
Hi. Yay.
You guys both sound very excited to be here.
I don't want to be the first episode.
Yeah.
Why? Why? What do you mean?
Because we're not
No
interesting.
one's gonna listen.
I think people. You guys tell us. Are you listening? Do you want to hear? Do you think Emily and Whitney are interesting guests?
Not really.
I think they are.
Not really.
Not really.
But you guys are the best.
We're always behind backstage.
But that's exactly what I want to talk about today. We're talking about the shows. So as you know, Emily and Whitney both work very hard backstage at the shows. Emily is the stage manager usually. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And Whitney, normally you're in charge of lighting and you're in the sound box. So today we just wanted to have a little talk about what we do backstage. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys out there listening have performed at one of our shows before. Maybe like Upstage, the crossover, maybe a K-pop show, the summit, whatever. A lot of work actually goes into it. And a lot of people have asked me actually like, I want to work at the show, or I want to help out, or, why does this happen this way? And I guess maybe today we can shed a little bit of light about what happens behind the scenes at the show, how organization works, maybe things that annoy us. There's a lot of things that annoy Emily. Maybe things that are great backstage, and if you do want to help, how you can help us out and make our lives easier to make the shows even better. So, first of all, Emily, maybe you can introduce yourself and say what you do at the shows and stuff.
Okay, I'm Emily, and I just do like backstage stuff. So I'm usually on the side right before people go on and off stage, and then tell everyone to shut up before they do go on. Because a lot of people get excited after their show and they come back screaming and like, oh my gosh, it's over, it's done, it's done. But yeah, it's just, everyone can hear you if you can do that. Yeah. And Whitney?
Well, I think Emily has really underestimated what she does with what she just said.
That's what I said. That's what I keep on saying.
She does a lot more than just that. Because, I do not that much either. I just do the lighting. When you guys go on stage, I just turn the lights on, and when you guys go off, I turn them off.
Alright, well, this is what I think they do. I think Emily is very much in charge of the pre-planning and organization of the shows. So before the show starts, there's a lot of things we have to do, like we work out run sheets, work out schedules, find out who's performing, who's not performing, making sure we know all of like the crew member names, things like that. And Emily's really in charge of that for the street dance shows. Dan's kind of in charge of that for the K-pop side of it. But for the street dance shows, that's Emily. And I think Whitney has a big role in tech. So she's the one that goes in early, make sure the lights are set up correctly, make sure all like the other equipment is set up correctly, sound and stuff. Make sure that we can do our stage rehearsals on time, basically. She's also the one who's usually in contact with the venues to talk about the equipment that we need. So if we have a hazer, like a smoke machine or something like that, Winnie's the one in charge of making sure that's working out. Things like projector. Last time at the crossover, we had like a really big projector. I consider you, Whitney, to be like in charge of the head of like technical stuff, the tech person, even though you pretty much don't know very much about tech stuff. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that's fair, or?
I guess so, but I don't know much about tech. Like, they tell me where the lights are going to go, and I'm like, okay, but as long as it just looks nice.
But I do think you take pride in your lighting. Like sometimes after the shows, like when he comes back, when he's like, oh, for this act, like I lit it this way, and it was like amazing because like at this point in time, like we changed the lights to this light, and we had this wash that goes over the stage, and then I turned on this like rotating light. Like she gets really super excited when she does like a good job.
All the time, every time.
But that's only when like something exciting happens. It's really hard because I don't see most of the performances before until the day of the show, stage rehearsal. And sometimes I wish that I could do more things with the lights, but it's really hard to know. And because there's so many acts, so everybody's different. So and with like budget wise, we can't have like a specific like lighting thing for like just one act. So like our lighting has to be appropriate for almost everything.
Yeah.
That's why it's a bit like sad when like some like people want spotlights or they want like a certain like mood lighting, but I can't give it to them because we only have like a certain set of specials. But like when it does work well to what they dance, like the stuff we have, it's really nice.
I think lighting adds a lot, and I think a lot of you guys, if you have shows with some interesting lighting changes, that really does come down to Whitney usually, and maybe who's your lighting assistant? Michelle, yeah, and Bill sometimes.
Yes, when we're both in the same one.
How do you feel about Michelle and Bill's lighting capabilities?
I think Michelle is very good. I'm very happy for her to take over, but just sometimes because we're like sometimes in the same ones, it's kind of hard. So I'm trying to find someone that has nothing to do with me and Michelle, some stranger maybe.
Well,
if you're listening
yeah.
and you're interested, please message me.
No, message Emily at Crossover Dance Studios. We are looking for people.
I'm actually trying to put someone else in that box to learn both lighting and sound. So, yes.
Well, coming up to the encore show, we don't have any lighting person because both Michelle and Whitney will be away. So if you just want to talk to Emily at crossoverdance.com. If you have complaints, Emily at crossoverdance.com. I guess moving on to Emily then. When did you start working on like backstage and shows and stuff?
I was always staff for like after like the first few shows, but then I think I started getting more into it.
Were you staff in the first couple of shows? Like the very first upstage?
After the first
and
few
the
shows.
yeah.
No, I think you were promo first, and then you started working.
It was afterwards. After the first few shows.
Do you remember which was your first show?
I was still in high school when I was a runner, or like just at the door. I was more reception.
I think when we started doing events, like we were quite not organized. Maybe is the word to use. A bit disorganized. It definitely has gotten a lot more organized lately, thanks to Emily and things like Dan's Google Docs forms, which we started using in the Kpop events and now in the crossover events as well. We are trying to be a bit more organized. It does make life easier for us, and we can make everything run really smoothly. So please help us. Please help Emily so she doesn't stress out. Emily is not like happy when she's stressed.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is.
But especially Emily, I think, can get a bit mad sometimes.
Yes, I can.
Hey, wait a second. So you guys are friends for a long time, right? So how long have you guys known each other?
Since
like year 1 or 2.
Year 1.
Since kindy or year 1.
Yeah, we did drawing lessons when we were younger together, but then Emily moved away. Like it was like a
You left Whitney.
No, I didn't move away. I just stopped art class.
Really? I thought you moved to Kensington, and that's why you didn't.
No, but even when I lived in like around your area, I still went to Kensington.
I don't know, but yeah,
I just stopped art class.
We did art classes together.
I'm pretty sure it was like kindy, year 1.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Too long ago.
and then we
we didn't see each other for like all throughout primary school after art class, and then we saw each other on orientation in high school. But then we weren't really friends until maybe year 8, year 9. Because
we weren't in the same classes.
Emily
as well.
was pretty whitewashed in high school.
What does that mean?
Like she hung out with all the like the white girls. She was like the only Asian in her group. But I hung out with all the Asian people.
Whitney converted me. It's true. She showed me K-pop and Chinese music.
So Whitney, you're the reason why Emily got into K-pop.
Yeah.
Because that's how you came to crossover in the first place, right? It was with the K-pop flash mob.
A lot of people don't know this, but
Yes.
we did come with K-pop flash mob one of our friends was actually one of the core founders.
Tanya, right?
Yes, but a lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of the members nowadays,
They don't know any of the original.
Oh yeah, now nobody knows nothing. Like,
Like, yeah, if you tell them we were in that group, they'd be really shocked.
and then you went on to form HSC you later.
no, that was only because we just finished HSC, and then we didn't have anything to do and came up.
We
with
were
something.
bored. Yeah, we were just like, let's do something, and then it stuck.
So you guys were from the same group. Was Juliana, Claire, and Kim from the same group as well?
What group? Like
Your high school group.
I met
No.
Claire here. Kim came to crossover with us.
Yeah.
And I met Juliana pretty late.
Here. I think she
She
was
was
in
popping.
Crystallized.
She was
No,
popping.
When I met
Yeah, I remember she used to do popping. Yeah.
I met her through popping.
I met her through Crystallized.
Yeah, so I became
Juliana's
friends with
kind
her
of like
through
a random
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Now she works with you.
Yeah.
Well,
Kimimono was part of Kpop Flash Mob as well.
No, she came
she came later than us, but I think it was more just she wanted to start dancing. She was also into K-pop, so she came, and we were here, so yeah, she joined.
But yeah, if you don't know the story, Whitney and Emily were part of Kpop Flash Mob group that came here at Crossover to learn for the very first Flash Mob.
I don't think Emily
I
was
wasn't.
here. I
was
I
only
did
the
the
second
Ring
one, I
Ding
think.
Dong and I think we did a girl song. I forgot which girl song.
Yeah,
Must have been G, right? No.
Oh wait, no, I think it was
It was
G.
G and Ring Ding Dong, and then we did that when Shiny came.
Oh, I remember. This is when we had beef.
Yeah.
You had beef?
Yeah.
Why did you have beef?
We didn't talk to each other.
Why?
For 2 months.
I don't know.
What was it about?
I don't
It was the
remember.
most stupidest fight, I think.
Were you fighting over a boy?
No, we went to an all-girls school.
No, I think we just didn't get along through high school, and for like I think we didn't talk for like a term or something. But then Shiny came, and we were like, look. We
Whitney
both
called
like
me. I
Shiny.
remember.
I was like, look.
Look, Emily. Like, we.
Away our differences just so we can go see Shiny. So we went to stalk them.
So K-pop Shiny brought you guys back together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
But I don't think Emily started dancing until like later on.
You came right when crossover opened. Did you?
No.
I
It wasn't-
started at the end of January. I remember. End of
No,
January
that's
to
not possible
February.
because my first lesson was in February.
Wasn't it like right when school started?
No. I remember it was in the holidays, I think, and Kim was my first receptionist that I
Mm.
met, and then we were here for rehearsals on a Saturday.
Yeah, so you came before school
and
started.
then
Kim wasn't one of the first receptionists here.
but
though.
no, but she was my first
Mm,
receptionist.
okay.
Like, she was the first
Hannah
one I
was
met.
mine.
Yeah.
And then I think I started coming to classes, but you opened up Friday class.
Yes.
And
Yes, we
then
did.
That was the class I used to go to, and I just got Kate was Wednesday class, but I
Yeah.
never went to that because I had school.
Yeah.
And then you had upstage, and then me and Kevin were in Shiny.
Too shiny for you. So
Too
was
Shiny for
I.
You.
Were you in Too Shiny for you?
Yes, I was. My
I
first
don't
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
my first showcase was Too Shiny for You. My first dance that I learned here was replay.
I don't remember.
See,
you
I
being
told
there.
you.
Just so you're listening, Too Shiny for You is the showcase class where we did like a shiny mix.
Yeah, it was Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer, and replay.
Yeah.
I don't remember you being there.
I was right at the front.
I don't remember.
Like I very succinctly remember like Tanya and like Sharon, with the other Whitneys, and like
the Tempe guys. So like
yeah, those guys, yeah.
yeah. So I don't remember you being there.
I will find it for you.
Okay, we're gonna find photographic evidence.
Yeah.
But then yeah, that's how far it goes. And then after the showcase, like upstage, the first one, me and Kevin started coming on Wednesdays. And we joined. I just got Kevin. So
Yeah.
technically me and Kevin are second tier.
Yeah, you are not original members of Ice Cockade, but
Yes.
from the second performance onwards, I think you were part of it there. I'm still here. So Emily, how did you get? Because like right now, I would say you don't do K-pop as much right now, right? You're more into like the urban side. So how did you start getting into that side of the dance?
I think it was just one day I was here and I was like, I always do K-pop, and I got into girls hip hop first. I think I got into Angel's class. Actually, no, my first outside of K-pop class was Ashley's lyrical.
Oh, okay.
And I did it because Sharon.
Yeah.
Sharon told me to do it, so I was like, okay. But after that, I still went back to K-pop. But then what really got me out was girls hip-hop. Started taking Angels, and then I started taking Josie's. I tried a bit of like a lot of people, and then I also took like Ellen's, Emma's. And then at one point, I kind of got into popping, but that didn't last very long.
That's where you met Juliana.
Yeah, that's actually how I met Juliana. Like, I got into popping for like 2-3 months, and then afterwards, I don't know. I think I got into urban because
Lex, right?
yeah, through Lex. Lex taught me for quite a while. It was also throughout high school that he taught me, and I don't know. It's just because I think I danced with Lex in Josie's and stuff, and that's how I met him. And then he started teaching me other stuff, and I started taking other people's classes. Like, I started taking Now's at one point, and then Xandro's. I don't know, I think I was just kind of exploring, seeing what I like. Yeah.
A lot of people might not know, but Emily, not saying that she's a bad dancer, but she wasn't that great at it. I have video proof, so if anybody wants
No! You are not showing anyone!
We can link this at the bottom.
you can message me.
What video is this that you
I
want to
think
show?
it was like 21. I am the best.
No, didn't.
What's wrong with this video? Why?
It was just like there's a clear difference between like her dance level now and what it was before. Well, I'm not saying that we were all perfect before, but like I think Emily.
But you'd like to highlight that Emily was really shit before.
Like, I don't normally compliment Emily, but one day I actually said to her, like, look, Emily, like, you actually improved a lot, like, watching back on old videos.
I remember she came up to me and she was like, look how shit you are! Like, thanks.
But it just shows that you're better now.
I was like, thanks, Whitney.
But I think it was funny.
I guess moving on, both of you now have boyfriends.
This is not a topic we need to cover.
Why?
I don't know. Just nobody really cares about our relationship.
Hey, Bill's listening.
Yeah.
Valdi will probably listen too.
No.
You think Valdi won't listen?
It's not interesting.
But we're talking about you. Hey, if I was your boyfriend, right, and then a podcast with my girlfriend comes out, I'd listen to it. I wouldn't be like, nah, like.
Okay, well, this isn't dance related.
No. Is there anything you'd like to say? Shout out to your boyfriends.
Hi, Bill. I'll probably be with you when you listen to this, so don't judge.
I don't know. I hope he doesn't listen to this to this point.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird.
Why is it weird?
Having to listen to your girlfriend's
Voice.
Yeah, just talking about things. I don't know, like just talking about shows. I've already talked to him about shows. He doesn't need to hear it again.
Well, I mean, both Valdi and Bill have done a lot for crossover as well. Valdi just starting now as like a designer and Bill as like head of photography. So yeah, it's great. Thank you guys, Bill and Valdi. Well, okay, I guess moving on. Let's talk about shows again. I guess going back to our topic about the shows. As organizers of the show, what would you like people to do to help you out to make it easier?
Well, I would like instructors to reply and actually give me the information I need. And also for like, there's a lot of people out there who, maybe crews in particular, like, we're all up for you guys participating and everything, but you should let us know rather than us finding out through a second or third person and having to ask you again. But like, it changes a lot of things if we get surprises, and then there's a lot of things we have to rearrange. So there has been a few crews for the past 3 shows that tell me really last minute and says they've been planning it for a while, but I had no clue of this. And I guess for performers, just follow the rules. Be there on time. If you miss stage rehearsal, that's really not our problem. We gave you the rules pretty early on, like what time you should be there, how it's going to run. So you can't say we didn't give you any caution. So if you're late or you don't follow any of them, that shouldn't be our responsibility. That's your fault, kind of thing.
I think what Emily's trying to say is we are not mind readers.
Yeah.
Like we don't know if there's problems or if like you want to perform. Just tell us. You know, like it is information that we do need to know. And because we're organizing things a lot earlier now, and like we're trying to be a lot more sort these things out, it really makes it hard for us to find things out later on. So if you want to perform, awesome. Tell us. Let us know so we know that you want to perform. If you like are a performer and problems happen or things happen like, can't make your rehearsal time or whatever, like we can't really change things around for you. Like there is no special cases. We have a run time.
sheet, yeah.
So we have to kind of follow it. It's really hard for us to change things around. Of course, we're really happy that you guys all want to perform. Yeah, that's why we make this show so people can dance. But we have to be organized about it, and so we can have a smooth show and then everyone can enjoy, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's not even up to us. It's to the venue specifications. They have times. They have staff that need breaks. So we also have to do everything according to their time, which is why we have a run sheet. Why we have a particular order we need to run things, a deadline, what time we need to finish everything. So a lot of the time it's not because we want to be mean or that we just want things to finish early. It is because of the venue.
It's very true. And we've been kicked out of venues before. things have been before. So we definitely don't want to have, and that's super bad. Sometimes we get charged for going over time or. It's just we want to make sure that the venue's happy, because we want to keep using these venues, and they get really stressed out and unhappy with us too. Yeah, definitely not. All right, how about you, Whitney? Is there anything you want to tell people to do to help you out in terms of what you guys do? Well, you can speak for the sound desk as well, I guess.
I don't know, I think nowadays we do get music a bit faster than we used to, and we get them in on time. With lighting, I think, as I said, it's hard because I don't get to see it until the day of the show, and we already set most of the lights up to the normal settings that we normally use. If they want special lighting, some people do request it, and they are very they're okay with what I give them, because I do explain I can't give you exactly what you want. I can try with what I have, but they accept it, and they're quite nice about it, so I don't have anything to complain about. I just wish that sometimes I have more time to organize some more special ones, or because I have no background in lighting, so I don't really know what I can do with what lights and stuff like that. So if anybody does or is interested in helping out, we could start building on our lighting technique and stuff. At the moment, I just turn them on and turn it off.
I guess, Winnie. So if people have special requests, they should ask you earlier, right?
Yeah.
On the day, we can't change anything. It's already set up.
Even if it's a video of their routine, that's that's helpful, because then I can see it before the day, so I can actually set some stuff up in my head and make sure that when I get there in the morning, I have those lights ready.
Yeah, I guess that's why stage rehearsal is very important for us as well, because if you're not there, we're not going to test your music out on the stage, because you're not there, so we're not going to play it. And if there's problems with it, obviously when you're performing, it's too late to change it. We the track's wrong. Well, we can only really use what you send us. So make sure double check that it's the right track first of all, and then also try to come to at least send one person to your stage rehearsal, just so that they can listen to the music and make sure everything is okay, so there's no surprises on there. That's my biggest thing. I don't like there to be surprises, right? Yeah. It just stresses us out. We want everything to kind of run smoothly, and then we all have fun. I guess for shows, what's your favorite show that you've worked on? What do you think is the best show that we've ever done is?
Are you talking about on the day or leading up?
Both, either one.
Well, personally, I think our latest upstage run with the story was
the time travel one.
Yeah.
That is my favorite show.
It was very different to what we did.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
Or on organizing, on the organizing level, it was fun because there were kind of things that happened, and we were we've never dealt with this before, but it was fun. It wasn't a bad problem. It was we never thought of that aspect.
Yeah.
And it was okay. Well, the next time we will know. And it was fun to overcome some problems.
Yeah. It was very, as you said, I agree, a very new experience.
Instead of doing the same thing over and over again, it was interesting to care about other things other than turning the light on and off. For me.
You had that swirly light that went, whoa, like that.
That was exciting. I I think like music cues as well. I think we had a lot of fun with those.
Well, everyone said the funniest part of the show was when Wei Wei dropped the thing, and then it was like 5 seconds before the sound effect played.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was still good.
Alright.
How about you, Emily?
Yeah, that one, I think that one impacted me the most because it's so different. That was actually the first show I properly organised. Like, before I was just backstage manager, but this one I actually had like a lot more to do in the lead up to it. So it was probably more memorable for me. I could say like, I was able to say, oh, like I actually helped organise this and everything. So it was really interesting. But for On the Day, I guess the crossover 5 was really memorable as well because Izzy wasn't here this time, so it was like a lot harder without her. But I guess it was just more stress, more responsibility, but that it meant it was a lot more to the outcome for me.
We did it.
It was a lot more special because, even though there were like a few bumps, I guess once we got over that, it was like, oh wow, like I'm glad the show went well.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like it worked out. The stress was kind of worth it at some points.
I feel like the K-pop shows now, I know like Dan is kind of in charge of that, but they kind of go super smoothly now. Like we just run through them and there's like hardly any problems. I feel almost a bit like, I don't want to say like blasé, but like they run so well that like I just don't worry anymore. Like we just do them, and maybe that's because of Dan. I don't know. We'd get Dan here to talk about that, like all the organization he does.
It's really good. I feel like we're there, and it's like, are we missing something?
Yeah.
Something's gonna pop up.
I think the last summit, everyone was sad because we went 10 minutes over time. Like, oh no, like that's our biggest problem. Oh, we were 10 minutes over like time. Oh no. Like, hi Claire, how you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome to the podcast.
Okay.
Today we were talking to Emily and Whitney, but now you're in. How is sound? How's being the sound person at events?
It's alright. You get to watch the show.
But I guess now you're kind of transitioning into a backstage role instead of sound, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but as the previous sound manager, what can people out there do to help the sound person?
Get the song on time. It makes our job easier and we can organize it easier.
I guess it all comes back to deadlines.
Yeah.
Emily sounds very proud. Deadlines.
It's not being proud, it's getting that message out because a lot of people don't understand that we do need that. Like, we're not doing it just for the sake of, oh, we want to be a bitch, give us your music. It's more just like, no, if we want to run this show well for you, you also have to cooperate. It's as simple as that.
Be nice to her.
If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice, right? Just buy her gifts and
No,
stuff.
you don't have to buy me anything, just
Listen.
Do you guys have any good stories from backstage at the show? Or interesting stories? Something that's happened backstage at the show or outside of like the normal running of the show that's really interesting? Like I know there's been people who've been crying, there's people who have like breakdowns backstage. Well, anything? I know people have gotten together backstage.
Really?
Yeah. Is there any funny stories in the box?
Well, there's a lot of funny stuff that happens over the comp.
That's true.
Yeah, we usually
We talk
just
a lot.
Yeah, we
We
talk.
talk a lot. We notice a lot of things, like if you're wearing the wrong clothes.
If you're wearing the wrong
If you're not in the center. Yeah, and like little mistakes, we see them.
I mean, anything backstage that's funny or this last summit we had this one of the girls, it's like Lisa, she smashed her face into a wall, right?
Oh my
And, like,
gosh, yeah. Well,
and it was bleeding.
It was pretty like shocking because we were like, okay, it actually changed a lot of the run sheet, so we had to be like, oh, we don't know when to put her on, and a lot of things got changed, so we had to keep communicating to Whitney and Claire, or maybe Sammy, and then. But it really got the venue staff occupied.
Yeah, they were like,
And
"Oh my
we
god!"
were-
Like, ah.
And then, like, we were really conflicted. We're like, we feel bad for Lisa, but we kind of feel good that we don't have them on our backs.
Yeah, Lisa, if you're hearing this, shout. She does listen to it actually.
Oh, we're
So
so
shout us
sorry,
to-
Lisa. Like, we actually felt really bad, and like, I was really worried
Yeah.
what was gonna happen.
We were like stressing
But
and
like,
stuff.
at the same time, she was very occupied, and all of us were like breath of fresh air.
So Lisa, blessing in disguise. Really sorry you got hurt, but but no. Lisa is listening to this, so shout out to Lisa. Any other interesting stories?
I just think I really like Ryan's story, but I know some people are annoyed at Ryan's story.
What's Ryan's story?
runs
You
on
remember when
stage.
he ran on stage?
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, Ryan.
I find it really funny. Like, I look back on it and I think, like,
I
that
laughed too.
was-
It's
that was
okay,
one
Ryan.
of the highlights of
The highlights of the show.
like staff-wise. That was one of the highlights.
It was the only time where we laughed loudly.
Oh my
I
god.
know some people are a bit mad about that, so sorry.
You want to explain it, or
Oh,
You have to
well,
ask.
like, basically, like, in one of the acts, they had cups. Like, they needed people to, one, drag them off, and two, pick up the cups. And so I think it was just like a miscommunication between people, because Ryan thought that Izzy meant like pick up the cups now during the performance. And I think everybody was just really flustered and talking to a lot of people. Like, we were on comms and Ryan was like not on comms, so he didn't really understand. So he just ran out on stage and picked up all the cups while they were still performing.
But keep in mind that it was also his first time
yeah,
working
yeah.
with us, so there was
So I guess he wasn't used to like how fast we work and how we talk, especially because when we talk backstage, it's not how we're talking now.
Yeah.
It's not how we talk when you come into reception or anything.
It's a very tense situation.
Yeah, it's like everyone's stressed. We need to get things done on time. We have a schedule to follow, so we don't have time to, talk like friends or
elaborate on
anything.
the staff situation.
So we pretty much have to just say, do this, do that, do this, do that.
No.
And
But Ryan, you're great. It's just a really funny story.
I'll never forget that.
For the rest of your life.
I'll bring it up at your 21st or something. If you invite me.
You probably won't now.
Yeah, probably. Actually, no, I remember something really funny. When there was one point for Upstage, me and Izzy were both getting ready to perform or just finishing.
Yeah.
And I came back and Jay had 3 mics.
Yeah.
He was talking on 3 mics.
I had to do all of the jobs.
So basically, he had the comms that talk to every staff member backstage. He had the comms that read the scripts to the MCs. So he was telling them what to say. And he had the narrator microphone where he narrates over the whole show because, like, maybe just as a storyteller.
Yeah.
So I came back. And at one point he was like narrating, and then straight away he was like to the comms, and then I was like, he was like reading the script to the MC.
Hey, you were all busy, man.
I was just staring at him, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Oh, you're back. Okay, give me a second." And then he was like narrating. He's like, "And sorry, 3 of them." I was just like, I could not stop laughing. It was really funny. That was really memorable.
Yeah, and the time when like there were no MCs on stage.
Oh yeah, I remember that. There was like just no MCs, and like no one could go on stage, and like where are all the MCs? Oh, no one's going on. And like
At that time, I think we had new runners.
Yeah.
And they didn't really know what they were doing, which was fine. Like, we don't blame you guys. And I think I had to not like for a second because we didn't have anybody backstage to be next. And then I think the MCs took it upon themselves to also go find who was next. So everybody went to find who was next, but nobody was like on stage.
And we didn't have any microphones.
Yeah, and I came back to the auditorium, and it was just silence.
And no one was on stage. Like,
Yeah, no, I remember there was one point it was near the end of the show, and it was just MCs, and then they thought they didn't need the comms to know their script, so they all just went on stage with the mics, and they forgot their lines.
I think Lay messed up, and then like everyone else was like off script.
So they forgot their lines, and they were all just like.
And then I had to voice over like what happened.
But like I remember because like they were like backstage, and we were telling them, we were like, put it on, and they're like, nah, we got this, and then they forget their lines.
I think it was my era for like the light box because we weren't backstage.
Yeah.
And like we were told to wait until they put their mic back on, so we will turn the lights on, turn the sound on, and stuff like that. But then as soon as they went off, like you guys were like, I'll turn the lights on. I'm like, but they haven't.
Yeah.
Am I turning them on now? Like what? And then like everything just happened in so fast.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah.
It's funny now, but in the moment it was like, what's happening?
Like as I said, like before, like we might have a lot of problems on the day, and we might get angry to people and be mean to some people. But like when we look back on it, we all just laugh.
Yeah.
But, like, I know some
So
people
much
feel
laughter.
bad, but sorry.
Well, I know people think I'm really mean from shows, which I am. But like, I've had quite a few people come up to me and was like, I was really scared of you at first because of the shows, but you're okay now. I was like, hey.
I've had a few conversations with people saying that me and Emily are the scariest, but then once they actually talk to us in a normal conversation, they don't mind us.
Like-
but they don't talk to us during shows
Yeah.
because they know.
Yeah, well, not normally. Obviously, we're all fine, but in like a high pressure situation, like you know.
Well, usually we warn everyone.
Yeah.
Whenever I run stage rehearsals, I tell them in advance, I'm like, if I'm a bitch today, just don't worry. Like, I'm a bitch for a reason.
It's not
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, like we kind of have to be because we have to remain on schedule.
Exactly,
like there
yeah.
not like time. One of my favorite things is the balloon drop. Are you guys there for the balloon drop?
Yes, I was like one of the people that like organized.
Shoving. Were you putting the balloons out the windows?
Yes.
So if you don't know, in Wesley there's a section above where you can throw
And it was
balloons
a
out.
small window.
It's a small window, so we had to blow up all the balloons and put them in this room, and then just push them out, and the balloons come down. It is still one of my favorite memories because that balloon drop is amazing. Like, oh, like balloons.
But it was like a really small window. It was literally like the size of like any of our windows at Crossover. You can really only fit like what 5, 6 at a time.
Yeah.
But there were like a few hundred.
And it's you and Terry and
Me, Terry, maybe Leah.
Leah. Yeah, probably Leah. Yeah.
And then like, I'm sure it would have looked funny because if you looked from the stage, it's just this one line coming down.
No, but the audience was fine. The audience was like, "Oh, where are the balloons going?"
Jay always asks us for a balloon.
I love balloon
at
drops.
every single show now.
Yeah.
But we're
I always get
like-
vetoed.
But yeah, because we have to clean them out. People pop them and there's just scraps like everywhere. You don't have to clean it. We clean
I
it.
clean it as well. I'm always there cleaning at the end.
But-
I like shows. I like doing shows. I think shows are great. I think dancers, the point of dancing is to do it in front of people, whether that's a showcase or battle or whatever, like, you know, or jamming. You're not supposed to just come to class and just dance in front of the mirror and then that's it. I think the end goal should be to perform in some way. So this show really is for you guys. It's always been a small thing where we just kind of do it around the studio, and it's really small and everyone just has fun. This time a lot of people asked to make it bigger, so we have. And like for the Kpop Summit, a lot of people said, oh, we want to do another summit. Okay, cool. Like, we're happy to put this on for you guys. We're happy to put the work in to organize. Actually, I enjoy organizing shows. I enjoy doing shows. Do you guys enjoy it? Or
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Organizing.
no, like running shows?
I enjoy it. I enjoy watching you guys
Mm.
and watching the performances. We've done so many to the point where we can really say, like, looking back, I remember when this group did this song.
Yeah.
that's true.
It's like there's a lot of memories that come out from performance days and like thinking back about all the problems like we had. It was really fun. I remember like the first Kpop Summit, like we had like a problem at the back of the auditorium, but I was like on stage next. But then I had to run backstage, and it was just like I went on stage late, and it was just really funny. Like there was different like situations where we can look back and like laugh at it, even though maybe like the day after we might all be like, oh my god, that was like so bad. Like I'm so angry at this person, or I'm so angry this happened. But like later on, like we do think back and learn from it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the time that we have. So even after all the complaining that we might do, we do appreciate everybody
Yeah.
like coming
Yeah.
in and dancing, and it's really nice to see what you guys come up with as well, like especially in the lights. Like I get to watch everything and sound, but yeah, just seeing it all come together, it's quite nice. So thank you all for being part of Crossover, and we do like enjoy our jobs.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong.
there's nothing. I think there's no better feeling than performing, especially like your first couple of times when you're like getting on a stage and you like. This is like the first time where you train really hard and you do really well, and you're like, yeah, that's it. Like
It's
yeah.
so like it's such a satisfying feeling seeing how much people enjoy it. Like when I'm backstage, I see there are people nervous,
Yeah.
and there are so many like you can tell they're like, oh, okay, we're going on stage. Oh, I can't do this. Like people are practicing behind like backstage, so you can tell they work really hard. Even though we have our troubles, but like I can't say that it's it's definitely not just about us. Majority, like 80% is about you guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like when I see everyone training really hard for it, even just at the studio, like I remember around showtime, the studios get really packed. It's full of practices. And then even when we go EC, it's full of people practicing for showcases, and you think everyone's working towards the same thing to make this one night really nice, really special. And it's such a relief to see that people are working hard, and it's so worth it. So when you're there on the day and you see everyone just dancing for this show, it's just like you realize how much people work for it and how much dedication they put. So all the rehearsals they put, the extra rehearsals, especially the instructors.
Yeah.
The instructors put in a lot of their own time, and they do extra practices on top of like their assigned times, and then like they're there to make their show the best kind of thing. So I guess for us it's like 10% of the show, but majority comes from you guys, and you guys are what makes this show what it is.
Well, I mean, I think that's the crossover community. Like that's the day that everyone comes together. It doesn't matter if you're a popper, hip hop dancer, b-boy, urban choreo dancer. We all come together to this one show and we all perform. We all work hard to make the best performance for everyone. And I think that the fact that we have these really big shows now is a big testament to how good the community of crossover is and how many dancers we have here. So
I feel like everyone becomes friends from these shows.
Absolutely.
It's because of the lead up to this show and the show itself.
And then the drinking after the show.
And the drinking as well. Don't forget the drinking. But I feel like a lot of the friends I have made at Crossover were from shows. Even though like there are other
Claire's like me.
There are other factors. Like you meet people within the studio, maybe people who don't usually perform as much, but I feel like the show, you see a lot of the times after the shows, people are in their groups. Like I remember Josie's groups, they always like organize lunch or dinner after the show to get back together. It's like, oh, we performed together, let's celebrate or let's catch up kind of thing. Like there's so much foundation built over like these groups, and that's what makes it the crossover community. Yeah.
I guess I want to say, I really got to thank these three, and of course a lot of other people as well, but definitely because you guys are here, Emily, Whitney, and Claire. I know you guys work really hard, and you guys should really thank them as well, because the reasons why the show runs well is because of the staff. And they do really work hard for you guys. Sometimes, they can feel a bit mean because we're under pressure, but we're under pressure because we want to make the show really well. And so if you've enjoyed the show, if you've been in a show that you think has gone pretty smoothly, a lot of work went into making it that smooth. And a lot of clutch decisions happened to make things seem seamless. So if you see Emily or Whitney or Claire, please say thank you. Give them your appreciation. They're not mean normally, is that right?
Normally, no.
They're not mean.
If we know you well, you know we mean well.
But of course, they're always going to appreciate if you say thanks. It's very easy to say thanks to your instructor because obviously, they're your instructor. They taught you. What do you mean? What happened?
No, like what you're saying now. That's what Weiwei did, and that's what made me cry.
He did what?
He was just saying thanks.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yep.
I was very touched.
Yeah.
It was the first time someone said that to me.
See, you go. Why is that the first time? All of you guys need to write on Emily's wall and be like,
No, it's okay.
okay, email Emily at crossover-dance. Or if you see her, or you see any of these guys, they do a lot. Please thank them. I always say that running the show or being like an organizer is a thankless job. Like, we don't do it because we want people to say thanks to us. And we never expect people to because they don't. It's very easy to say thank you to your instructor because they taught you the routine. You say, oh, good job to your friends because they danced. It's a thankless job, but that doesn't mean that it's not nice to hear thanks now and then. So, if you liked something that happened, make sure to let these guys know. They'll cry for you. They'll appreciate it. They'll really appreciate it. Okay, so I think that's a good time to end it. So, thank you guys for coming to talk. Emily, Whitney, Claire, late entry Claire. No, she wasn't meant to be here. She just happened to be here. Thank you guys for being part of it. See, that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
No. I feel like people are gonna stop listening. I don't think there's 5 minutes in.
No, what? Why?
Probably no one at this point.
But why do you think people won't listen? Just Bill and Valji.
Maybe just Bill.
I actually thought this was really interesting, talking about shows and stuff, because I do think a lot of people don't realize the work that goes into it.
I don't think people realize the backstage
Yeah,
work that
yeah, yeah.
we go through, so I think this is a good idea, even though I came in
Yeah.
late.
We even talked about your boyfriends and how you guys started dancing and hate to see you later. So like, okay, let us know if you're still listening at this point. If Valdi or Bill don't reply, then there's gonna be some troubles. But yeah, was it boring? Whitney thinks it's. I don't think it was boring.
I don't think anybody's interested.
Look, it wasn't boring for us because we're just talking. We've talked about this before.
Mm.
Like, it's not something that we wouldn't bring up on another occasion.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about listening.
Well, let us know. Why do you think it's boring? Because
No one wants to know.
see, Whitney thinks it's boring because Whitney thinks she's boring, and I don't think that's true at all.
Whitney has the best voice.
I know.
I have the squeakiest voice ever.
MC Whitney.
MC Whitney. Okay, you tell us, is Whitney boring? Do you want to hear more about Whitney? We haven't really done a Q&A with Whitney, just Whitney, so we might have to do that later.
I just told you my whole life was just there. I don't need another Q&A.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right? Like, I consider these people here a team. So we've got the Emily, Whitney, and Claire team, if Claire comes a bit early sometimes. So, we've got the Daniel and Carmen team and Kevin team who work on, who come in on Saturdays or Sundays, and we're going to do stuff with them. And so this is team 2. Team B, Emily, Whitney, and Claire. So do you guys out there, if you're still listening, if there's more than 2 people still listening, do you want to hear them talk about stuff? Please don't say up and go challenge. But do you want to hear them do things, or do you want their opinion on things? We should do a ask Emily and Whitney and Claire your problems, an advice podcast, right? People should just give relationship questions or something, and we'll just answer them.
Ask us though?
'Cause-
we're totally new at this as well.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do next time.
We're all, except for Whitney.
That's what we're gonna do next time. If you want to hear Emily, Whitney, Claire, and myself answer your questions about anything, not questions about us necessarily, but life questions, we're gonna do we're gonna do advice and opinions podcast next week. So next week we're gonna do advice and opinions podcast with Emily, Whitney, Claire. Anyway,
Should end it because now we actually have to organize.
the next show.
We need to organize.
We're going straight into organizing Encore. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Remember, next week, advice. Ask us questions about your life, and then we'll try and answer them as best as you can.
Just stop.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys. Yay. End of the day. Okay, that was it. This is our lost episode 4. I did put the Represent episode 5 out before this, but yes, this is episode 4 of the podcast. Just as we said at the start, we are going to start doing now the crossover podcast and the XOKpop podcast. So please check it out if you're interested in some of the other street dance styles and some of the other instructors who teach here. That's a project going forward from now. But next up in the XOKpop podcast, we are going to be interviewing Carmen. So this Sunday we're going to do Carmen's interview, and the week after that we are going to be interviewing XOKpop. So if you have questions for Carmen, please check out the page, and XOKpop as well. Please check out the page and ask your questions there. We're also going to be doing a challenge with Dan and Carmen, who have to put on clothes every time they fail. So that should be pretty interesting. That is going to be a video as we start doing some video projects as well. So hope you're looking forward to it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our community, and enjoy. Heart to heart.